The Campo d'Arsigo Wine Producers Cooperative was established on the 28th of January 1955. The minimum share at that time was 1,000 lira, the equivalent of a head of livestock and equal to a hectoliter of the barrels of the wine producer. The first president was Count Ippolito da Porto. The construction of the building commenced in the same year with the purchase of an area of approximately 600 from the church. At that time, the wine was stored in concrete tanks and wooden barrels. The first contribution of grapes was 16,000 hundredweight, which was a very good start. From the establishment of the cooperative, the wine growers involved were those from the Camposampiero district of northern Padua. The area stretches from the Brenta River in the west, the city of Padua in the south, the Padua-Treviso highway in the east, and from Camposampiero to Santa Maria di Sala in the north. A large area which incorporates 13 towns. This area mainly produces red wine, because in centuries past, Venice demanded large quantities for their own use, as well as for export throughout the Mediterranean. The main wines produced were the Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Raboso Piave, Raboso Veronese, and Refosco dal Peduncolo Rosso. The production of white wine has also obtained a respected position in the past few years. The most common are the Chardonnay, Pinot Bianco, and Pinot Grigio. Over the years, this area has transformed from a typically agricultural to an intensely industrialized district, modifying the urbanization and the lifestyle of the inhabitants. Today, Campo d'Arsigo, home to the Wine Producers Cooperative, is an international leader in several industrial fields: axles, agricultural machinery, suitcases, and hoods. Inevitably, with the decline of employees to agriculture, so did the cooperative members decline. Nevertheless, at the same time, the single winemaker's properties increased, and the winemaking technology improved, which in turn increased the overall production, as well as the quality of the wine. In 1996, work started on the new winery, and in 2004, with the new Memorandum of Association, the Campo d'Arsigo Wine Producers Cooperative became Cantina Alta Padovana, a name that includes the actual area from where the grape for winemaking derives. The new winery was built with efficient and advanced technology, thereby obtaining the highest standard of safety in full respect of the current standards. Following this choice, Cantina Alta Padovana registered to the ISO 9002-1996, ISO 9001-2000 standards, and to the ISO 14001 Environment Management System standard. Furthermore, the winery has also obtained the possibility of holding guided tours during the winemaking processes. There are many points of interest concerning the new structure, of which we've illustrated just a few. The entire building is 10 meters high over a single span. In fact, there are no internal columns. The building is supported by 275 piles from 6 to 12 meters in order to distribute the weight of the enormous silos in full safety and without problems concerning static. There are 18 external tanks and 68 internal tanks to contain the wine, with capacities from 500 liters up to 500,000 liters. If you consider that a normal bottle of wine contains 3/4 of a liter, imagine how many bottles there are in a 500,000 liter tank. There's also a thermo-conditioned area for the refining of the wine in small barrels, the reserve. Because ultraviolet rays damage the wine, sunlight is unable to enter the building. The latest technologically advanced systems guarantee optimum vinification results with a total efficiency level. At the same time, the entire production is constantly monitored by a sophisticated analysis laboratory. Cantina Alta Padovana's philosophy is that of providing the consumer with an agreeable wine with a high organoleptic quality and rich in added values, such as the respect of the environment during wine growing and production. Wine production starts directly in the wine rows. Modern and efficient wine-growing techniques produce a vigorous vine that's easily controlled throughout its development up until the grape harvest. The grape harvest in the Cantina Alta Padovana territory is generally performed by hand, in this way giving the last manual contribution to the wine production. In fact, from this point onwards, all phases are automated, also to give the highest possible level of hygiene. It is common to see similar scenes during the month of September. In fact, members of the winery present the freshly picked grapes for processing. On arrival at the winery, the grape is weighed to calculate the exact contribution of each member. The net weight of the product is calculated and is then left to stand for subsequent analysis by the refractometer. The refractometer is an instrument that analyzes the sugar content of the grape in order to calculate the alcoholic strength for the subsequent processes. The grapes are then unloaded into special tanks to start the winemaking process. The first stage is the separation of the rasps, the bunches without the grape, which are transported to a container from which they arrive to a composting system to be made into compost, an excellent natural fertilizer. The remaining part of the bunch, the grape, which is known as the destemmed or crushed part, is transported on conveyors and through pipes to the fermenters for the first fermentation. The destemmed grapes remain inside the fermenters for a preset time with their skins to take the color. It's therefore the skins that give the wine its color. Once the ideal conditions have been obtained, the skins are separated from the juice by means of presses. At this point, the pressed must is conveyed to special temperature-controlled steel tanks to finish fermentation and become wine. It's important to underline that the entire fermentation process is constantly monitored by means of sophisticated control analyses to guarantee the consumer the finest organoleptic characteristics of the wine. Once the final controls have been passed, the wine is filtered by a system known as a tangential filter that ensures that even the smallest of impurities are removed. The next step is bottling, where the wine is bottled, corked, sealed, labeled, and packed in crates or cartons for delivery to the outlets. The wine that we've seen produced can also be found in casks or bottled in the winery outlet. Various qualities of wine are available here, both of our production as well as from neighboring wineries or other regions. Cantina Alta Padovana have celebrated their 50th grape harvest with the presentation of the Riviera del Brenta DOC, the first bottles of which were successfully presented on the market in 2005. The region of this DOC wine, which means name of origin controlled, involves the wine-growing areas of the River Brenta Basin, starting from Padua in the north as far as the lands surrounding Venice. The wineries in this area are Cantina Alta Padovana and 3 wineries from the province of Venice. The environment from which the Riviera del Brenta DOC derives is rich in hundreds of years of wine-growing tradition and culture, which date back as far as the Roman Empire, followed by the Venetian Republic, up to the present day. The Riviera del Brenta DOC is therefore a wine for those who are looking for signs of antique tradition with a genuine flavor in continual evolution.